Thank you. Good morning. I was kind of a late addition to this, and they called me up and said, you've been recommended to speak because you've got 40 years of experience in the seed business, and we were going to give you 6 minutes, and I said, what am I going to do with the other 3? But we have been in San Antonio, Douglas King Company. We've been in San Antonio since 1912. And we've seen a lot of things come and go, and I paid my way through college, part of the way through college, harvesting seed and selling it into the South Texas region. Recently, we were asked to partner up with the South Texas Natives Project, and we became a certified seed producer in 2009, taking the certified approach and bringing to market the first increases of some of the species that they had selected, as well in conjunction with the Plant Materials Center in Kingsville. In 2017, as of today, we've got 30 species, 34 production fields, and that looks pretty pale by comparison to the slide that Bill put up. But what we want to say is these are specific germplasm releases that are identified and verified. So if you call in and you want one of these, it comes with a green tag, and you're going to know the source of it, and you're going to know what's in it. Not saying that the other diversity and the other methods are not useful in these projects, but one of the things that we do know that hand harvesting only will get us in native harvest will only get us so far. If we really want to go to the next level and get a source of seed that is identified, that's tested, that will work in the condition or in the region that we're going for, this is one of the programs that we believe strongly enough that we've gotten involved in. It's an annual investment of $500,000. What does that mean? That's my production cost to my growers. That's the staff, one staff member that's the overseeing. He's the only one that's really allocated to that number. And it's all the other things from harvest to processing. And that's a small amount when you really look at the vastness of this project. This is one small company in South Texas making that kind of investment and going forward with this. We don't know where it was going to lead us when we started in 2009. We were pleasantly surprised with the response we got from restoration in the Eagleford, and we were more surprised by some of the projects that are coming up, such as this one here. So we have been providing native grass for restoration, habitat, easements, and right-of-ways for many, many years. In fact, one of the presentations that I think Forrest gave one time, we were sitting in my office, and I said, look at this price list. It's got a multi-flower false rose grass on it from 1960. Never knew it was on there until I started looking and understood what multi-flower false rose grass was. So we've been involved in this for quite some time. So, whoop, did I go too far? No, up, help. Okay. Can you do anything over there besides what I just done? Can you undo what I just did? Well, let me talk about production successes because, oh yeah, and oh, we go. And you can see that from my slide presentation, I don't have a graduate student like Forrest has. So, but what we've done, in my first slide said that we had 30 species, 20 and 34 fields, but really we produced what we would consider 20 germplasm releases that weren't available beforehand, or there weren't any really close substitutes. I mean, we're talking about they're the only ones on the market. So when you get down to, okay, there are some other close substitutes, these are really getting down to a region, then I would say it would come to 30 to 35 or 34. So, but what we thought was a really good thing for us, our program, and showing what it can do is the fact that we were able to take these things in a small amount, and now they're commercially available, and we've done the majority of these in the last 3 years. So this thing has been moving on, and what this demonstrates to the group here is if we know what the goal is, if we know what we need in the end result, if we know what the market is, we can get on this and we can move forward as an industry. Not just one company. I did the math on this 1.8 billion plants that we need out there, stems we went out there, and you got to figure that you're going to need twice that much seed to get a stand at some point in time. That's a lot of seed. That's a lot of seed. So this is where we think that we've made the biggest. There's that slide I was looking for. And so they asked us give us some thoughts about it. We would say that we've been 85% successful on the things that we've tried. Now, success doesn't necessarily mean that it was economic success. If we ended with more seed than we started with, it was a success. Now, it may have not been much, but at least it was production. So that's how we did that. But the other thing that was alluded to early on was seed quality, and that is important. Not only do you need to know where it comes from, but you also need to know what the seed quality is. We feel that in some of the production fields and plots that we do with these things, we are able to monitor and manage the individual species in a method that's best for the highest production, highest quality seed that you're going to get. Mother Nature does a good job in a pasture situation. And when a plant makes seed and it makes, let's just say in the wild, it makes 10 seed per plant and it drops them, they're all there. But when you're trying to raise seed to sell it or to distribute it, and it's going to be down to the mix and you're going to be planting 3 pounds per acre, you better have a pretty good knowledge of what the quality is, and it better be pretty good quality seed. So our project has also, I believe, increased demand and interest on a lot of these new things. Beforehand, I think one of the most frustrating things within the NRCS offices were the plant material centers were releasing things, but there wasn't any source for them. And I think somebody had a chicken and an egg in their slide. I think Rob had that. And it was also get them to recommend it, and only those, and then the seed will follow. So I think we now have got a meeting of two worlds. Land use is changing more it's moving away from traditional livestock and that income, and now we're going into wildlife habitat and restoration. So what are our challenges? Well, I pretty much already talked to them. Limited market information, and that's wow. When I saw what the list of things that could be what we need to do, and we need a bigger list, I really didn't want to talk today, because after I saw that list, I thought we're going to be busy. But the industry in general. But what we need is what's the market, who wants the seed, or who needs the seed, and what regions are we going to be going to, because we have fragmented markets as well. And then that way we can get into production planning. Now, the production planning, from my standpoint, is the easiest thing in the world to do, because we have shown that in 18 months, we can go from nothing commercially available, have up 10 to 15 acres, and have seed on the market within 18 months, depending on what it is. Many things that only seed once a year, not so much. But there are many items that we're growing that will seed out more than once a year, and so we can really fast track these things. We're also showing that we're from my past experience, when we would do just pasture harvest of grasses, yields on smaller land holdings under production conditions will far out yield traveling across vast acres to get the same amount of seed. So we're also consolidating the production down to lesser acres, and I'll just click this along. And here's some topics for tomorrow, just pretty much what everybody else has said, and that's it. Thank you for your time.